The scream echoed across the schoolyard like a sharp crack of lightning. Cold water drenched her from head to toe, dripping from her hair, soaking her clothes, and clinging to her skin in the chilly morning breeze. Gasps rippled through the crowd of students. Some laughed. Others stared in shocked silence. But no one moved to help her. No one except her. Chapter 1: The First Day. It was Amelia's first week at Ridgeview High, a place that already felt like a fortress of strangers. She had transferred mid-semester after her parents divorced, uprooted from her old friends, her familiar streets, and the life she thought she'd always have. The new town was smaller, quieter, but the school was loud in the worst way. Groups formed tight circles at lunch, each one sealed shut like a locked door. People looked at her just long enough to decide she didn't belong. Her clothes were simple jeans, a hoodie, sneakers. She wasn't trying to impress anyone, she just wanted to survive the day without being noticed. But in high school, blending in is sometimes the fastest way to stand out. Chapter 2: The Unwanted Attention. It started small. A whisper as she passed in the hallway. A giggle from the corner of the classroom. A shoulder bump in the cafeteria line. She kept telling herself it was nothing, she'd been the new kid before, and it always got easier. But on the third day, it escalated. 3 girls, all perfectly put together, eyed her from across the yard at lunch. The leader, blonde hair tied in a perfect ponytail, smirk locked in place, tilted her head toward Amelia and whispered something. The group burst into laughter. She tried to ignore it, but the prickle of their gaze followed her until she sat down alone, back against the fence, tray balanced on her knees. Chapter 3: The Incident. By Friday, the whole school seemed to know her name, not because she'd made friends, but because they had made sure everyone noticed her. That morning, during recess, Amelia wandered to the far side of the yard where it was quieter. She spotted a hose coiled near the maintenance shed, dripping slightly from where a janitor had watered the plants earlier. She thought nothing of it. Until she heard footsteps. "Hey, new girl." The voice was sharp and mocking. She turned just in time to see the leader holding the hose nozzle like a weapon, her friends flanking her. "You look like you could use a little freshening up." Before Amelia could react, a blast of icy water hit her square in the chest. The shock stole her breath. She stumbled back, sputtering, as the stream followed her, soaking her hair, her clothes, even her lunch bag that fell to the ground. Laughter erupted from the growing circle of students. Some pulled out their phones. Others just watched, frozen between amusement and discomfort. Chapter 4: The Silence of the Crowd. What hurt most wasn't the water, it was the fact that no one stepped in. Amelia saw faces she recognized from class, from the lunch line, even from the bus stop. Not one person said, "Stop." Her cheeks burned hotter than the water was cold. Her hands trembled, not from fear but from something deeper: anger, humiliation, the sting of betrayal by people she didn't even know. When the hose finally clicked off, the leader tossed her a mocking smile. "Oops. Guess you needed a shower anyway." Chapter 5: The Turning Point. Amelia could have run. She could have cried. She could have pretended to laugh it off. But something inside her shifted. Maybe it was the months of holding herself together through her parents' divorce. Maybe it was the fact that she had nothing left to lose. She bent down, picked up her soaked lunch bag, and in one fluid motion, grabbed the end of the hose. "You're right," she said, her voice steady. "I did need a shower. But guess what? So do you." And before the leader could react, a spray of water hit her square in the chest. The gasp that followed was almost louder than the laughter. The perfect hair collapsed in wet strands. The mascara started to run. Chapter 6: The Chase. The girls shrieked, scrambling back as Amelia turned the hose on all 3 of them, their perfect outfits now dripping. The crowd exploded in cheers and laughter, but this time, the sound felt different. The bullies ran, but not before Amelia delivered one final blast to their retreating backs. She dropped the hose, chest heaving, heart pounding with adrenaline. For the first time that week, people weren't looking at her with pity or judgment, they were looking at her with respect. Chapter 7: The Aftermath. By the end of the day, the video of the hose incident had made its rounds. Students she'd never spoken to gave her nods in the hallway. A few even stopped to say, "That was awesome." But Amelia didn't feel like a hero. She didn't like that it had come to this, that she'd had to fight humiliation with humiliation. Still, something important had changed. The bullies avoided her now. And for the first time since she'd moved, she felt safe. Chapter 8: The Real Victory. A week later, Amelia was sitting under a tree at lunch when a girl she'd seen in math class approached her. She looked nervous. "Hey," she said. "I just wanted to say, thanks. Not just for standing up to them. But, they used to mess with me, too. I never did anything." "You did." Amelia smiled. "You don't have to thank me. Just, next time you see someone being treated like that, don't stay quiet." The girl nodded. Deal. Closing message. Standing up for yourself doesn't always mean fighting back with the same weapons. But sometimes, it means refusing to let someone else decide your worth. Amelia didn't win because she soaked the bullies, she won because she showed them she wasn't afraid anymore. Call to action. If this story inspired you, tell me in the comments, what would you have done in Amelia's place? I love reading your stories and thoughts. And if you believe in kindness, courage, and standing up for what's right, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Be Kind Always, where we spread stories that prove kindness is stronger than cruelty.